Hello and welcome. I've recently purchased a vDrive, a ZX vDrive. It's a hardware emulator for up to 8 microdrives. I've actually, removed the original microdrive, which is in this bag here, from this unit and installed the vDrive. And having a lot of fun with the vDrive actually. This video is not specifically about the vDrive. I'm sure there are many videos on YouTube you can take a look at. Yeah, just suffice it to say that you can store your microdrive images on a SD card. I've got a micro SD here. It's an 8 gig SanDisk. So that's with the micro SD adapter there. So they take an SD card. And it just makes it nice and reliable. You know, sometimes the original microdrives can be a little bit unreliable, more like the actual cartridges themselves are probably the biggest cause of the issues. The subject of today's video is the reliability issues with these cartridges, and I'll show you what I've done to make them more reliable. When I picked up the vDrive, I thought it'd be a good idea to, copy the contents of the cartridges that I've got onto images here on the vDrive, just as a backup procedure, really, because these drives aren't going to last forever, and neither are these cartridges. But yeah, notoriously unreliable. But I've had reasonably good success with getting information off these cartridges here. So I'll show you what I do to these cartridges to make them more likely to read on a microdrive. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess on the desk here. I've been having a little bit of a play with different microdrives. This is probably the better one out of the lot. I've got it attached to the vDrive here. These 3 drives here, they work. This one under here, that's a broken drive. Not quite sure what's up with that one. And all these cartridges here are unrecoverable. I have not been able to get any information off these. Sometimes they just completely jam up and you can't get any information off them at all. And there's another little stack here, I think. Yeah, all of these here were unreadable. That's an empty case there. So this is my little pile of fails. I've got a pile over here of reasonably good cartridges. Most of them read. There's a couple of cartridges that I can get most of the information off, but not all of it. By the way, yeah, sorry about the state of this machine. It's not very clean. By the way, you need interface 1, obviously, to interface the microdrives to the Spectrum here. Yeah, so I'll take you over to the other bench. We'll have a quick look at what I've been doing to get a little bit more reliability here out of these cartridges. Now the tools I'm using here are basically pretty handy, having a pair of tweezers, a pencil here, a good sharp pair of scissors, and we've got this felt here that I'll show you what that's for. You'll know that they are notoriously renowned for the little pads falling off here, and you could see, you might have actually seen, that part of the pad actually fell out there when I opened the case there, and there's part of the pad. They're a sort of spongy type material, and they just deteriorate and they fall apart. I'll show you. So this is not an original one, but it's one that I've fixed up. That's, sort of what it should look like there. Little pad sitting just under the tape there. And it just provides a little bit of pressure on the tape head there. But you can see there that that one's virtually disappeared altogether. Yeah, you'll see bits and pieces falling out of them. And it's not a good idea if they are in that state, which more than likely they will be if they're original, getting to this age. It's not a good idea to run these in your drive if they are in this state, because these little bits and pieces here that fall off could get dragged into your cartridge and cause all sorts of issues internally here. And these are basically a sealed unit. I guess you could probably break one apart. I'm not sure if it would survive that process, but it's a good idea just to remove any residue from here. So I'm finding that rather than pull out the little carrier here, there's a little carrier that holds this sort of material here, if you like. That's the little carrier that holds the pad. Now you can remove that carrier. It just clips in. And I've got a couple of spares here, which I've already put some felt on. And you might notice that the felt's quite thick. It might be a little bit too thick. This is what I've got here for it. This just felt pad here. But it seems to work, which I'll show you soon. But what I do is I don't remove these little carriers. I just get myself a new pad and stick it on there. But first of all, before you do so, you've got to clean the pad up best you can, because you'll probably see there's a little bit of foamy sort of residue stuck on there. And the best way to do that is to use like sort of a pencil, or like just a little piece of plastic or something like that. Don't touch the actual tape itself, and you just pull a little loop up like that. You can see there's a little bit of residue just on there. And what I do is I tip the cartridge like that. The other tool you'll need is a sharp knife of some sort. And just try not to touch the tape when you're doing this sort of work. But I hold the cartridge with the pad sort of facing downwards, so any dust or residue that comes off this, just gravity just pulls it straight down, and that way you don't get any bits and pieces stuck in the Microdrive cartridge here. So I just give it a little bit of a scrape here. See, you can actually sometimes peel off the remaining part there. You can see that coming off. There's a little bit of dusty, I think that's part of the foam falling off there. There we go. I'll just try and get that so you can see it. That's the bottom half of the little pad there. So that's the adhesive part that sticks the little pad to the carrier, and you can see the foam's just disintegrated there. So get rid of that, and then while I've got the cartridge here, I like to give that a little bit of a clean up there best I can. Just very light scrape there with the knife. And it's quite good. You can do this in situ without removing that little carrier. Sometimes the little legs in the carrier can get bent when you're removing them, which is a bit of a pain. So I find this method works quite well. I've had fairly good success with this. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways you can go about it, but this works for me. And so what I do is I just cut, I've got some double-sided tape here, and I just cut a strip of the felt there, and I lay it onto the double-sided tape, and then I'll just come along and we'll grab the scissors there. We'll just bring a little bit up off the roll there. I'm just going to cut it about there. Might be a fraction too big, but I haven't had any problems with them even when they're this large here. And then I just trim off the excess sellotape there, double-sided tape. Now the type of material you choose is important. I've had good success, as I say, with this material, but some materials can build up a static charge. So you do need to be careful with that. So probably a synthetic will be more likely to build up a static charge. I'm not sure if this is actual proper felt or not, or whether it's, I don't think it's synthetic. Yeah, if you're not too sure about the material you're using, what I've also tried is these. I just grabbed an old bunch of cassettes from a thrift shop, and you could use the pads out of these. I mean, I'm pretty sure that these won't have any static build-up problems, being an audio cassette. So what I do is just I just rip out this little pad here. Yeah, I'd rather sacrifice one of these audio cassettes here than not be able to repair my Microdrive cartridge. And then what you can do is you can pull the that felt pad, pull that off this little carrier here, and then attach that to the double-sided tape and trim it to size. So that's another way, if you don't have any felt and you're not sure whether it's going to have problems with static or not, that's a good alternative. But I've found that this felt I've got works fine, so I'll try not to destroy too many cassettes if I can. Get my tweezers here and just carefully, let's try not to lose it, just a bit fiddly here, and just place that over the pad carrier there, position that on there, and just push it down to make it stick on there, just like that there. And then to wind this loop back in here, as it says in the cartridge instructions, if you ever do have to wind the loop in, try not to touch the tape here with your fingers, and use a pen or a pencil. I just use the side of this pencil here, and I just gently wind that back in like that there. So there we go, all ready to try. I'll try and get this first bit all in shot here, and then you know, I'll zoom in on the screen so you can see what the commands are. So first of all, with the vDrive connected here, you can have up to 8 virtual microdrives attached in here. I normally attach about 3 or 4 drives in here, which makes this the drive next in line, which, you know, if I've got 4 drives here, this is drive 5. Just ignore the label 2 there. And so if I start the machine here with no SD card in, the vDrive here, just get this fired up, and if I just hit run on the Spectrum, it will load the toolkit. You can see here, toolkit installed. I'll get you in closer here in a second, but just so you can see what I'm doing here. And now if I plug the SD card in, the light should go out, and then we can use special commands like full stop LV, which is list vDrives, and you'll see that I've got some vDrives already mounted here from a previous backup session that I was doing yesterday. But what I'll do is I'll remove those, and we'll start from scratch pretty much. I'll create an image and I'll show you how to mount it and add drives and things like that. So there's a few commands if you do full stop and type help. So what this is doing is it's grabbing commands from the vDrive itself, from the toolkit, and that's the help file there. You can pause and take a look at that if you want to. Okay, there's the help file. So full stop, as I said before, LV, list vDrives, we've got 4 there. I'll remove those with the remove command. That's full stop RMDRV, and then the number of drives you want to remove. I'll remove all 4. Okay, and full stop LV should show no drives enabled. Okay, there's banks of drives as well, which I won't go into here. I just wanted to quickly show you my backup procedure. If we do full stop LI, this will list the folders that are on the SD card. So I've created a few. There's a test directory there that I've done, and I've got a copies folder for some of the copies that I've been doing, games, utils, and the ZX Expand 1 was just the name I gave to the folder that I put these cartridges in here, you know, the backups of these. didn't have much success actually with those. I've got 2 of those. So what you can do is you can create another folder as such. So it's mkdir to make a directory, and then just in quotes given a name. I don't know. Let's just call it test. Test, make directory test, right? And if we list again li, you'll see that folder there, test there, the 3rd one down. And if we want to go into that folder, it's just cd test, and then we'll list again, and it shows you that we're in the test directory. And then from there, I can make an image. So an image is kind of like creating one of these, if you like, virtually, a virtual cartridge image. So mk for make img, make image. We'll give it a name. Let's just call it test. Okay, and if we list again, we'll see we've got test in here, which is blank. That's telling you basically that it's not formatted. Okay, but before we go any further, if we go back to list vDrives, we've still got no vDrives. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to create a vDrive, and what that's doing is it's virtually creating one of these, the actual drive. So this is the vDrive, that's the image. Okay, so let's create 4 vDrives. So mk, make drv, and then the number 4. You don't have to put space in, but just for clarity, make drives 4, hit OK. And then if we do, full stop, list volumes or list vDrives, you can see that we've got 4 drives. So it's like having 4 of these with no cartridges in them. Okay, so they're empty drives. Now, to install a cartridge or an image onto one of these drives, we can do that by mounting basically the image. So if we have a look what image we've got here, li again, we've got that test image. If I want to mount the test image, so the way I'll do this is I'll mount the test image in space number 2 here, because I want to put my tools, utilities into the drive 1 here, just for the backup procedures. Okay, so we want to load an image, full stop LD. We want to put it into position 2. And again, the spaces aren't necessary. And then the name of the image, which is test. And of course, we're in the test folder where the test image is, so it should find it there. Okay, and if we list the volumes again, or list vDrive, sorry, I keep calling it volumes, you'll see there that we've got test image from the test folder mounted in drive 2, and it's blank at the moment. So let's do the format command, because basically we've got one of these in the drive, but it's not formatted. Shortcut, you can still use the old format command if you wanted to, you know, format m : 2 like that. I think that was how it was. But this, we've got a shortened version, which is format F2, and then give it a name. We'll call it test 1, like that. Okay. And it will go ahead and format the test image. I'll do some jump cuts here because sometimes it takes a little while to do these operations. So yeah, just be aware that I will be doing some jump cuts. Okay. And if we list the vDrives again, you can see now that we've got a formatted drive there. Now I also want to load my utilities image, which is in the utils folder. And if we just list that, you'll notice there that it's called Demo2 and the name's Intro2. That it's actually this cartridge here, the introduction cartridge from the ZX Spectrum expansion system kit here that comes with the, does it come with the interface 1 or does it come with the Microdrives? I'm not quite sure. Or did it come as a kit? I'm not really sure. I bought all this second hand, so... Oh, that's the other thing too. If you're going to be running Microdrives, you need the interface 1 attachment on it for your Spectrum. So I want to load demo 2, load into position 1, the demo 2, oops, demo 2. And you'll see on the demo 2 cartridge, if I cat that, do a catalogue of the first drive, it's silent, this unit, this vDrive unit, but you can get a little sound device for it to generate sound, which is quite good for feedback, but I didn't bother. So the program I'm using is this copier program. First of all, before we do that, I'll load that in a second, but first of all I want to catalogue my actual cartridge here. So I've just loaded the cartridge into, this will be drive 5, so we've got 4 here and 1 here. Okay, so I'll cat 5, hopefully we'll get something reading off this here. And there we go. So we've got the Jetpac game and the Nifty Lift game there with a run program there as well. Okay, so it's good that it catalogued, so that's progress. What I've been doing at this point is I've been loading the copier program, and then once that's done, basically what I'll be doing is I'll be copying all of these files here on the drive 5 across to drive 2, the empty one in the empty one here, the test drive, okay? So first of all though, I want to load the copier program, so we just do that as we normally would. Load star Microdrive 1, this is the syntax by the way, so load star, in quotes M means load from the Microdrive, not the tape, semicolon, the drive number, then a semicolon, then the program you want to load. And it's loading off the vDrive now. There we go, sorry, the camera's hunting a bit there. This is the copier program. So this is the one that I've been using to copy a file name from drive 1 to drive 2. We use this command here. But I'm copying from drive 5 to drive 2. So if we do that, star, move M, which is in quotes, which means Microdrive, the semicolon, then the drive number, semicolon, and we want to grab all files. That's the 2 quotes here. As in all cases, if the file name is just the 2 quotes with nothing in between, then all files will be backed up. Okay, and then we go to Microdrive number 2, and we should be all set to go there. When I hit enter or return, it'll read the catalogue and it'll start to back up the first file in the catalogue. So reading Jetpac here, as say, I'll do some jump cuts to make this a little bit more brief. Didn't need to there, but writing, okay, so that's writing to the vDrive, drive number 2. And here's the second file. Some of these files can take quite a while to read, so I'll be doing some jump cuts here. Oh, that's good, success so far. The only problem with this is you can't exclude a file. So if you've just got one file that's not working, it's a bit of a pain because you have to jump past the file that's not working, you have to do the move command separately and fill in the file name individually because, you know, if you just use the wildcard, which is basically the 2 quotes, grab all files, it'll get to the failing file and just fail, and that'll be it. It'll just kick you out. You have to restart the process, and obviously to get past the failing file, you have to specify the file name. A little bit of a pain. So there's some incomplete backups of these cartridges that I've been doing when there's just one file that fails. I'll go back and I'll get as much as I can off these cartridges. They're probably available, you know, online, I guess. Jetpac, you know, maybe, I don't know, but I actually own Jetpac, so I can always grab that. And these are multi-part files you can see there, the Jetpac, and then there's Jetpac 1, 2 and 3. So that'll be from a backup on a multi-face cartridge where you can just halt the computer and then back up the entire contents of the memory, and it'll break it up into several files there. So we're having pretty good success here actually. Quite often I find that, you know, it might fail on the second or the third file, somewhere around there. I guess that's just coincidental, but yeah, this one seems to be going quite well. Nifty lift, not really familiar with that one. Is it going to have trouble with that one? No. It's good. Sometimes some of these take a long time to read and you think it's failed, but it hasn't. And other times you let it go to thinking that it's not failing, it's still reading, but it's not. And eventually it kicks you out to a prompt to basically say that the file's not found. Curious to see what nifty lift is. Hopefully this successfully reads. Quite often I find there's one file that's not good. And I wonder if that's maybe something to do with the tape, you know, where the tape's exposed and it's been sitting for a long time. You know, some of these cartridges could be sitting for years, you know, without being used. And I wonder whether that might have some effect on them. But this one isn't looking all that promising. Yep, might be jump cutting here. Yeah, not looking good. Come on. Oh, it did work. Eventually. Oh, I was just about to give up on that one. That must be quite a big file. There's our run file, that's the last one. Wow, that's 100% success rate on that cartridge. That's actually quite unusual. Pretty much guaranteed to have one file that fails. But anyway, that looks good. So now if we catalogue the vDrive, 2 there, we should see those files sitting on the virtual drive. And there they go. Perfect backup of this cartridge here. Now the other thing that I've also found, and I wonder if it's something to do with, you know, the thickness of those pads, is, and quite often I've found that I'll get a good result if I don't put the drive right in hard like this here, and I just sort of pull that corner out just slightly here. It seems to make a difference just on some cartridges, but that one, you know, that seemed to be pretty reliable. But yeah, just found it sometimes a little bit better to pull that corner out slightly there. You can't go too far, otherwise the drive will stop driving the tape. Kind of wanted to show you one that was failing. Just suffice it to say that if you have a problem with one, let's say Jetpac 3 failed, well then, you know, if you retry it, it'll come through, read every single file again, and basically if it's already in the destination, it'll skip it until you get back to the failing file. It'll try it again, and then it'll just kick you out to a prompt, which means you can't get to these remaining files, and you have to do them individually. And to do that, you have to basically do the same command as we did before, which was star, move, the drive number, which was 5, and then you have to specify nifty lift, and then it'll do that, and then you'll come out to the prompt again, and then you have to do this one, that one, all in turn. You can't say exclude these files, not that I know of, exclude all these and start here. So you have to do this to Microdrive 2, and of course it's there already, so you know it's going to see that the file is already in the destination drive 2. But yeah, just I thought I'd demonstrate that just in case you know, you're getting to a point where it was failing. Yeah, file exists. Yeah, okay. But yeah, just to demonstrate that. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that quickly, show you the backup procedure that I use at this stage. And yeah, hope you found that interesting and helpful. I'll have a wee look online and see if there's any good videos on the vDrive for the ZX Spectrum. I'm sure there will be, but if there's not, I might do a quick video on the vDrive itself. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, possibly, if I get the chance to do it. But yeah, that's all looking pretty good there. Let's see if we can load, what was it? Jetpac. Yeah, why not? Let's try it. Load star M Microdrive number 2. Oh, that's the thing with these multi-load cartridges, is that if it was backed up, if let's say Jetpac was running and it was backed up through with the multi-face onto drive 1, it will load the Jetpac here, and when it goes to find Jetpac 1, it'll look for it on the first drive, on Microdrive 1. So I've found that what you have to do is I'll have to mount, instead of this being on drive 2, I'll have to mount it on drive 1. So I'll quickly show you how to do that. I just have to reset the Spectrum here and rerun the toolkit. I've removed the SD card here, I've ejected it, green light's on, and if I hit run on the Specky here, we'll get the toolkit back up and running. And load volume, we don't have an SD in there. Okay, we've got the SD card installed, list volumes. Right, let's remove, might as well just remove all the drives. So RM DRV, remove drives, we'll remove all 4, and we'll go back to that test folder. So CD test, oops, full stop, CD test, yep, and just list it to make sure, yep. So we'll load, we need to make a vDrive, so let's mkdrv, because we've got no drives, you see, if we, yep, mkdrv, we'll just make one. Okay, if we just have a look at that, and then we want to mount, so load into drive 1, test. That's where our Jetpac program is. And if we list volumes, list vDrives there, test, and if we cat that, there we go. Let's see if Jetpac will load here. So load star M Microdrive, that is 1 Jetpac, go. I'll be jump cutting, this could take a little while. Oh, here we go, didn't take long at all. There we go, keyboard, 1, 5, start game. Let's go. Is it going to work? No. Here we go. It's in black and white. Is my TV not tuned properly? Not sure what the keys are. Yep. Where's jump again? I'm not there. I'm not way over there, is it?
Jeepers, that key
key combination's not good. Oh, need a joystick. Come on. Whoops. Got fuel. Got fuel. Yep. There we go, more fuel. Oh, come on. No. Yeah, why is that in black and white? Is that just a bad loading? Stalling a little bit there. Am I pausing it? Might be pausing it, am I? Yeah, must be. Yep, I'm pausing it. Oh man, these keys. No! Come on, need that fuel. Need this one. No, go. Wrong key. Oh no, wrong key. Oh, so close. Ah, well. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, I've been a bit slack with videos lately, and yeah, this channel's not my main channel. My other channel's not related to computers at all. It's more to do with my business, and that takes priority, unfortunately, for YouTube videos if I make any. But yeah, thought I'd do a quick one, or not so quick on this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you later.